You know, you're always excited when you put your boat in the water, but when you're late February on a really good lake, Lake LBJ, full moon, those big ones ought to be moving into spawn. And I would anticipate we're gonna have a great day. Thanks for joining us. This is Fishing and Hunting Texas.
From Mexico to Louisiana, the Red River down to the Laguna Madre, Texas is one big playground. Join professional bass fisherman and three-time FLW Angler of the Year, Clark Wendlandt, as he takes you on some of the best outdoor adventures the Lone Star State has to offer. This is Fishing and Hunting Texas.
You know, on Lake LBJ, it was one of those places that we knew was going to be good when we put our boat in the water. Full moon, we're talking about late February, big warming trend. The water's 60 degrees. As soon as we turn on Garmin 7612, we look down, 60-degree water temperature. And that's something that's really important in the spring, knowing what that water temperature is. If it was 56, 57, I'd be thinking, well, they're not going to be bedding. But when it gets up to 60, I'm thinking they're going to be on the beds.
Just put our boat in the water. Water temperature 60 degrees. Get in here. That's our first fish of the day, and I promise you, about our 5th cast. So we just got started. What we realize about today is they ought to be spawning because we're late February, water 60 degrees. There's a 3/4, 3.5 pounder. Probably on a bed, caught it on a caffeine shad. Just a kind of a weightless, soft jerkbait that just kind of glides through the water. White, and see it really good. It's gonna be a fun day.
You know, basically, you know, what I knew about that lake is there's a lot of shallow grass, there's a lot of scum, and there's a lot of docks. And those fish want to get up there and bed in that 2 to 4 foot of water. Those places that kind of are in and around that shallow grass, in and around that scum. Sometimes they'll be up under dock, sometimes they won't. And so, you know, the bait that best fishes all of that is a Strike King Ocho. It's a soft plastic jerkbait, basically wacky style.
Now I'm throwing a wacky worm. You can see that bait kind of had slide up my line right there. Wacky worm, Strike King Ocho. And the thing I love about that bait is the rate of fall. It's got a lot of salt in it, and they have got it where it basically falls just at a perfect rate. I'm fishing it wacky style bait. You can get a ton of bites on.
If you Texas rig that bait, it's really effective also, but it just doesn't give you any resistance when you pull on it. Because when I actually pull on it, I'll pull it a little bit, it'll just kind of flutter, and then it'll start falling again. And the bait just basically moves real slowly. And you know, I mean, it's just a bait that's going to get you a lot of bites. It can also catch good fish. I mean, you catch a lot of good ones.
You know, as an angler, you always want to kind of predict, you know, how good a day is going to be just based on, you know, what the conditions are. And my brother and I were able to come over here about 2 years ago, and we hit it just perfect. And I mean, we slayed big fish. Caught them mostly on a Ocho, you know, weightless jerkbait. Caught a few sight fishing, but it was incredible. I think today ought to be that kind of day.
Coming up, the fish are shallow and Clark gets the bite dialed in. There's more from Lake LBJ up next on Fishing and Hunting Texas.
Fish on! Come on, get together. Let's get down to business. Quiet, you sons of fishes. Now, what?
I'm switching sonar.
Why?
Cause now I can see fish swimming live in front of my boat. I even see fish attack my lure. Y'all's sonar's just history. I'm out.
I'm with him.
Total performance. Nowhere could it be more defined than in the Ranger Z series. With unparalleled advancements, these rigs are driven to dominate. Coupled with Evinrude E-Tech's unrivaled performance and up to 500 hours with no dealer schedule maintenance, they're the ultimate fishing machines. The legendary leadership of the Ranger Z500 series. It's the kind of feeling nothing else can touch. Power your Ranger with Evinrude E-Tech.
There's two things between an angler and the fish, the sun and the bugs. Sawyer's line of sunscreens and bug sprays keep you focused on the fish. Sawyer's Stay Put sunscreen formula bonds with your skin for a more comfortable and better level protection. And picaridin insect repellent will only harm the bugs, never your fishing gear. Also, Sawyer permethrin repels and kills on contact over 55 species of insects. You're already outdoors. Sawyer keeps you there.
These are my Strike King S11s. Get your own.
Fishing and Hunting Texas is brought to you in part by Cabela's. It's in your nature. Ranger Boats, still building legends one at a time. And by Garmin, the power of simple. Welcome back. We're on Lake LBJ in Central Texas. It's late February and the fish are moving up shallow.
Well, that's a nice one. All I'm doing right now is I'm just going down inside grass lines and I'm just throwing 6-inch, oh, get up there, that's a nice one. 6-inch Strike King Ocho. Look at that fish, that's pretty. Fishing it wacky style, and all I'm doing is just throwing that thing, letting it sink to the bottom, and moving it, and throwing it again. It's really, I mean, it's a simple way to fish. That's the thing that always has amazed me the most about it. But it's kind of a do-nothing way to fish. In other words, you just can't be moving your bait a lot. And I like fishing fast, and it's not a way you fish really fast. But one thing about it is it's usually specific. You can find where they are, you can make a cast, let it sink to the bottom, reel it in, make a cast, let it sink to the bottom, and just keep going.
You know, that bait is really simple to rig. 3/0 hook. This is a 7-inch Ocho. Basically, you rig it wacky style, you hook it right through the middle, and you just let it fall. And you've got to let it fall all the way to the bottom. I usually fish it on fluorocarbon line. This is 15-pound test. And basically just sit there and watch your line and let that bait go all the way to the bottom. When this bait falls, it sits there and it does about what I'm doing right now. It just kind of goes back and forth. It just sits there and barely shimmies as it goes to the bottom. It gets a ton of bites.
I love that bite right there. That is so cool. Pretty good fish. You know, one thing about this kind of fishing is this time of year, during the spawn, we're fishing kind of a big grass flat with a big sand area out on it. And you just got to be patient. That bait just sitting there sinking so slow. It's just all you see I got left is a hook. My Ocho came off, but pretty fish. Look at that. That's awesome.
You know, we kind of struggled a little bit. You know, we got out there and we caught some right off the bat. We found one on a bed. We caught some on an Ocho, and then we had a little bit of a lull. And basically, we just kind of got in the wrong area of the lake. And then when we moved again, all of a sudden we start catching them again. At that point, I went to a Strike King flipping tube, and you know, it's a 4.5-inch tube. It's mainly white. It's just a bait that you can get a lot of bites on.
Get up in here, dude. Fat guy right there. That sucker just got up on a bed. We just came along and looked down and see a white spot over there. Took just a few casts and got him a bite. Nice little fish. Fat guy. Let him get right back in there on that bed. That's too much fun right there. You know, this time of year, you just got to pay attention. You know, whether you're looking for fish to catch on beds or just fishing, but every once in a while, you just look over there and bam, there's one. That one was, we got that one.
Coming up, Clark demonstrates why a Strike King coffee tube should be a part of your springtime arsenal. Next up on Fishing and Hunting Texas. Want to win a hog hunting trip? Americana Outdoors is offering a chance to win a free guided hog hunting trip at the Four Amigos Ranch in South Texas. This all-expense-paid hunting excursion will be filmed for Americana Outdoors, so be sure to sign up today for your chance to win at AmericanaOutdoors.com.
Experience High-Vis, a brighter sight picture than standard sights, giving you an immediate, more successful shooting performance. High-Vis lets you see a dramatic contrast between the target and the barrel for a more intuitive aim that delivers instant results. Our light pipes come in a variety of shapes, sizes, and colors, designed to be seen in a variety of conditions. With our broad line of sights, you'll see your marksmanship dramatically improve, bringing more fun and confidence into every shooting experience. Shoot more accurately. Enjoy the sport. Choose High-Vis.
Oh, nice shot.
You put the cool in life. We put the cool in coolers. Arctic Ice.
Every day, your eyes are exposed to dust, debris, and wind. Only Wiley X removable gaskets block it all out, and your eyes remain safe. Wiley X, absolute premium protection for sportsmen.
Fishing and Hunting Texas is brought to you in part by Lucas Oil and Marine Products. It works. Arctic Ice. We put the cool in cooler. And by Grove Tech. Go hunt. We'll carry the gun. Welcome back to Fishing and Hunting Texas with your host, 3-time FLW Angler of the Year, Clark Wendlandt. This week, Clark is fishing Lake LBJ. He's found a few random fish up shallow, and with the water temps warming, well, he knows there's bound to be a few on beds. And one of the best lures for sight fishing is a white Strike King coffee tube.
You know, we had one bed that was so shallow, you could actually see the fish really good in the camera. And that fish, I mean, it didn't take that long to catch, but that one time he actually grabs the bait and you can see the bait sticking out both sides of his mouth. I didn't set the hook because I didn't think he had the hook. Well, I missed an opportunity to set the hook on him, but I didn't think he had the bait, and more than likely he's going to turn around, get back on that bed, and I'm going to be able to catch him on the next cast or two, and that's exactly what happened. I got him there. He's coming out. That is so much fun right there. Get up here, buddy. Oh, that's a good one right there. Look at that fish. That is awesome. Strike King, coffee tube. That's a 4-pounder. That's too much fun right there. That was so much fun right there. We could just see that fish so good. You know, we're catching a lot of them kind of out farther on these sandy spots, but that one right there, he was shallow. Cool. All I'm using is a coffee tube, 4.5-inch flipping tube. When you take this bait, the way I've got this rigged is I've just got a wide gap hook. It's a 4/0 hook. I've got a bobber stopper on so that my weight can't slide. There's the bobber stopper right there. And then I got a tour grade tungsten weight. This is, I think it's a 1/4 ounce. It feels about right to me. 1/4, 5/16, 3/16, just depends on how deep you're fishing. As far as the bait goes, all you do is you just slide that hook right through the very center, come out maybe a 1/2 inch in, and you run that, turn the hook, cover up on the hook, you kind of figure out where you want that hook to go, and bam, there it is. The thing I love about this bait when they're on the beds is it's a gliding bait. When it falls, it kind of glides. And then the other thing is when you shake the weight, the tentacles just barely flare up. And you can notice the tentacles on this bait, they're real loose. They really have a lot of action, and a lot of times it'll really entice those bedding fish. I was throwing a flipping rod. We actually got 20-pound test fluorocarbon. Cabela's arachnid reel. It was just a good setup that particular day on Lake LBJ. Here we go. There he is. Get up here, dude. Oh, look at that fish. That is a nice one. Now, earlier today, we put our boat in the water, and I said we were gonna catch them. And the reason is, it's just too perfect right now. I've not been over here probably in a month, but the deal is that these fish right now ought to be moving in, flying to the bed. Late February, full moon. You know, as far as our day ended up, we didn't catch a giant fish. We caught them all the way up to about 4.5 pounds, but it felt like a great day because we caught a lot of fish in that 2.5 to 4 pound range. You know, one after another, we'd move locations, and I skip a ocho up under a dock and I catch another 3-pounder. I mean, it just ended up being one of those days that was really memorable. And this, I just want to show you what I love so much about throwing that Strike King Ocho, is you can just catch one anywhere. I mean, we're basically fishing kind of inside grass line, big flats, and we come to a dock
I just slide it under there. It's easy to throw under there. 2.5 pounder. That's pretty fun right there. So I love that bite. Go get them. That's too much fun.
Well, that does it for Lake LBJ. Coming up next, even though it's springtime in Texas, other states are still in the icy grips of winter. How does an angler locate pre-spawn fish on lakes with abundant vegetation? Stay with us and find out. Coming up next on Fishing and Hunting Texas.
Fish on! Come on, get together.
Hey! Good job!
Yeah, right. Let's get down to business. Quiet, you sons of fishes. Now, what?
I'm switching sonar.
Why?
Cause now I can see fish swimming live in front of my boat. I even see fish attack my lure. Y'all sonar's just history. I'm out.
I'm with him.
There's two things between an angler and the fish, the sun and the bugs. Sawyer's line of sunscreens and bug sprays keep you focused on the fish. Sawyer's Stay Put sunscreen formula bonds with your skin for a more comfortable and better level protection. And picaridin insect repellent will only harm the bugs, never your fishing gear. Also, Sawyer permethrin repels and kills on contact over 55 species of insects. You're already outdoors. Sawyer keeps you there.
These are my Strike King S11s. Get your own.
Win a red fishing trip for two in Venice, Louisiana with Americana Outdoor staff member Cody Levy. Fly into New Orleans for a one-day guided trip out of the world-famous Venice Fishing Lodge for a day of fighting bull redfish. The fishing excursion for two will take place in August of 2016 and will be filmed for future episodes of Americana Outdoors. So sign up today at AmericanaOutdoors.com. Fishing and Hunting Texas is brought to you in part by Strike King Lure Company and Optics, Sawyer, we keep you outdoors, and by AmericanaOutdoors.com. Welcome back to Fishing and Hunting Texas. Now in this segment, we'll take a look at locating fish in those late winter months. For more, here's Clark Wendlandt.
So when we thought about this show, what we were actually thinking about is shallow grass and pre-spawn. And you know, in Texas, you see that situation a whole lot of times. Lakes like Rayburn, lakes like Toledo Bend have a lot of shallow grass in it, but really just about anywhere you go. The small lake that we're fishing here, we're just gonna get out there, and when we put our boat in the water, what we're thinking is we're gonna look at the depth time. We're gonna look at our Garmin sonar, and we're gonna try to figure out what the grass looks like, and that'll be our starting point. I've got a bunch of different Strike King baits rigged up, ready to go. You know, shallow grass is something that intimidates a lot of anglers. But when you're thinking about pre-spawn, I love the way the bass like to be up over the top of that grass. They want to get up there high in the water column. They're usually feeding, they're real aggressive, usually using baits like maybe a red-eye shad, pure poison, rage blade, maybe swim a jig. Any of those things that keeps that bait slowly moving through the water column. You can catch some great fish this time of year.
You know, when you think about fishing Texas, one of the things that really comes to your mind is fishing shallow grass. And when you're fishing shallow grass in the pre-spawn, what I like to think about those fish doing is they typically want to get up on top of the grass. They don't want to get down in it. And so that makes me think of winding bait, something that you can move fast through the grass, you know, pop it through the grass, fish it across the top of the grass. And it just depends on how aggressive the fish actually are to really kind of figure out what presentation is going to work. Not a great big one, but it's a start. It's a start to the morning. Now what happened on that is I started thinking, you know, speed of retrieve is a lot of times a huge factor in what, you know, how these fish will bite. And you know, you can reel the bait fast, never get a bite, slow it down, you start getting bites. And I was really reeling that thing slow. Fish are gonna be a little bit lethargic, we're in pre-spawn, but hopefully they're gonna be biting. That's a good start. Man, that light's pretty on that fish right there, gosh. I want to show you my bait. Strike King Pure Poison. I've got a Rage Blade trailer on there. Just throwing a regular white one, kind of a shad looking trailer on there. And it's just I mean, this is a 1/2 ounce right here. I want the bait to try to get down in that grass. You know, I've got a lot of different weights of baits and I can alter it as I want to. That bait felt about right for the grass here. We may go in a different bay later. The grass is a little bit different, but right here, that felt good. Let's see if we can get another one. You know, when you're talking about shallow grass, I like baits that vibrate. And when you're talking about a Pure Poison, a Rage Blade, swimming a jig with a Rage Crawl trailer, you know, the Rage Crawl is just basically flapping in the back. Red Eye Shad, those baits really, to me, get a lot of bite. There's one. Good fish. Just working that Pure Poison so slow. I mean, they're on the edge of that grass line. Right up in here. Healthy, fat fish right there. You know, this time of year, a lot of times it's about making a lot of casts, covering a lot of water. And, you know, we fish this bay, now we'll go to another bay. The conditions in that next bay may be totally different. The grass may be lower, the grass may be higher. We don't have really any idea, but it's all about covering water. Hey, I hope you enjoyed the show. If you get the opportunity, go check out our website, like us on our Facebook page. Let us know where you'd like to see us go all around this great state. We'd love to hear from you.
Hey, a big thanks to our sponsors for helping to make this week's show happen. And thanks to those of you that have made Fishing and Hunting Texas one of the longest running outdoor shows on television.